This is a quick video showing my workflow in Capture One. I'm going to be using one of the images from my project, Skin, Ink, and Light. This is a project I did with artist Luis Matuto from Brazil about 10 years ago. It's still one of my favorites, so let's get to it. I'm going to pick one of these three images. So the first thing I do here on the exposure tab is to pick the white balance tool, and then I click on something in the image that should be neutral. I know that this was shot against a white background, so I'm gonna just click on the background here. Let's see what it does. So as you can see, it immediately neutralizes this background, and by doing that, it fixes the white balance of the entire picture. And that's already good enough. If you ask me, like this image could be exported right now. I would be okay with it. But of course we're not going to do that, so let's tweak it a little bit. So the first thing I do after getting the white balance done is to adjust the exposure a little bit. Even though the exposure on this photo is pretty spot on, I'm gonna put it down just a little bit. I think this series, they're a little bit on the darker side, like a darker mood. So I'm gonna put the exposure down just a little bit. The contrast, I usually take it out a little bit, so depending on the image, of course, but this one I'm gonna just take it out just a tiny bit, just -4. That's pretty good. And let's play with the brightness as well. So the brightness, actually I'm gonna put it up just a tiny bit by 2 points there. Saturation is pretty good. I like it, but let's just see how we could change it a little bit. No, I don't think we should change it to anything. Maybe put it up just a little bit. Let's put it up just by 4. With high dynamic range, we can fix or tweak the highlight, shadow, white, and black areas of this picture. There's nothing like really blowing up in terms of exposure, so there's no point in fixing the highlight, but just to show what it would do to this picture, so it would change a little bit of the skin right there. So I'm gonna put it up just a little bit. With the shadows, if I want to bring a little bit of detail from the painting, from the body painting work, then I could bring the shadows up a little bit. But again, it's a darker project, so I'll just leave it. The whites would probably not do a lot here, so it's doing just a little, the tip of the nose there and the teeth. So I'm not gonna mess too much with this, just a tiny little bit. Same thing with black, so I could bring it up a little bit or a lot to show the painting, but I'm not gonna do that, so I'm just gonna leave it at, let's say, 8. 8 is fine. With clarity, I usually go really slow when we have people, so when I have faces, unless I want to really emphasize wrinkles or hard expressions, I just leave clarity alone when I have faces. But on this case, because we're talking more about the painting, about the paintwork, I'm gonna put it up just a little bit. Let me do it a lot just so you see what it does to the picture. So it actually brings it up quite severely. So I'm just gonna bring it to 20, and I'm gonna change from natural to neutral. And actually, now that I did it, I'm just gonna put it down just a tiny bit more, just 8. 8 is good. Structure, I usually leave it alone. Maybe I play with it a little bit, but usually I just leave it alone. Okay, now is the part that I think it's really fun. In Capture One, you can actually play with the levels in all the 3 channels. So we can do that in RGB, but you can also split it and do it in red, green, or blue. That's really powerful because I can, for instance, I can come to the reds and I can add the reds to the darker parts of the image, or I can take it out. So if I take it out, then you see the greens coming up. Same thing with the midtones and with the highlights. So I can add red to the highlights, or I can remove red from the highlights. What I'm gonna do here is just add a tiny bit of red, and I don't really like this way here, but that's fine because I want to go immediately to the blue and just add a tiny bit of blue as well. And what this does is it creates kind of a violet tone especially to the black areas. that I think it's really pleasing. And now I kind of tweak it a little bit on the mid-tones just to bring that yellow of the skin tones a little bit more. And with the greens, yeah, I can just add a little bit, just a tiny bit. The thing about Capture One is, and what makes it different from other programs, and I think more powerful, is that everything that you do it in tiny increments. It's not like you get your slider and just move it like this. No, you just do it just a little bit, and it already affects the image a lot, so it gives you a large range of adjustments. That's looking good to me. And now on the color tab, I want to remove a little bit of the saturation of this background, so I'm going to use the color editor here. I'm going to pick this color picker, and I'm going to click on the background and just slide down. So I'm sliding down, and as I do that, it's removing the saturation of whatever color is finding on that background. Probably a bit hard to see on this picture, but it's happening. Like, it's, as you can see, it found a lot of pink and violet, and it's just taking it out. So that's perfect. I'm done with the color editor. Now I'm going to go with the color balance. So starting with the shadows, let me start by pushing a little bit to the blue, and that's just gorgeous. This is where you start to give a film look to your photos. By the way, anytime on the latest version of Capture One, if you hit the letter Y, you do a before and after, so it's really handy. So let me do that. So Y, and that's before, this is after, before, after. It's already incredible the amount of change we achieved on this picture. Now let me go to the mid-tone, and I'm also going to add a little bit of blue, but not the same blue. I'm going to go a little bit to deeper blue and see what it does. It's actually adding that violet again that kind of looks a bit wrong, and I think that's the beauty of it. In the old days when the film would, you know, come with some funky colors, and we would love it. So that's what you can get from here. And after you do that, after you pick your color, you can also adjust, like do a fine tuning here of how much color you wanna change. So I'm just gonna do a little bit, and I'm gonna also move this slider here just so I can make it more accentuated. For this photo, I'm gonna leave the highlights alone. I'm not gonna change anything. Sometimes I like to put a little bit of yellow, but I think this photo has it already, so I don't think it's gonna do any good to this picture, so I'm leaving this alone. So the highlight's not happening on this one. Okay, let's do before and after. This is before, this is after. Before, after. I really like it. Now I'm gonna save everything that we did as a user style, and that's kind of like the presets that you get on Lightroom if you're coming from there. I'm going to remove two things here. So I'm not going to save the exposure, because exposure changes from picture to picture, and I'm also not going to save the white balance, because the white balance is going to be different for other pictures. I'm going to call it Bressani Skin, Ink, and Light Film Look. Bing. And that's it. There you have it. If you want to get this style so you can apply it to your own pictures, I'm going to leave a link on the description, and you can grab it for free. I am remastering the entire project with Capture One. If you want to see more, just go to my Instagram. I'm posting new photos every day. I'm going to be doing more videos like this, so stay tuned. Maybe consider subscribing, doing the bell thing, just so you know when a new video is up. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.